motorcycle's engine is a high-precision machine, and bad riding habits can silently destroy it long before you notice. From costly rebuilds to catastrophic failures, the long-term price of these mistakes is steep. Today, we'll count down 9 riding habits that ruin your engine, each habit, the damage it causes, and why a bit of mechanical sympathy can save you a fortune in the long run. Let's dive in. Number 1. Revving a cold engine. Nothing wears out an engine faster than revving it hard when it's stone cold. When you start your bike after it's been sitting, the oil is thick and hasn't fully circulated yet. Cold oil has higher viscosity and flows slowly, meaning critical engine parts aren't fully lubricated in those first moments. If you blip the throttle or redline the engine right after startup, you're forcing metal components to rub at high speed with minimal oil film. The result? Accelerated wear on piston rings, cylinder walls, and cam bearings. Think of it as sandpapering your engine's internals. Mechanics often find scuffed cylinders and worn bearings in engines that were routinely revved cold. The fix is simple. Warm up the engine gently. Give it a minute of easy riding so the oil can reach operating temperature and protect everything. Number 2. Lugging the engine at low RPM. Do you roll on the throttle in a high gear when you should downshift? This habit, known as lugging the engine, puts extreme stress on your motorcycle. Lugging is when you open the throttle wide at low RPM. In a high gear, the engine struggles, shudders, and sounds like it's laboring. In this state, the motor is fighting against itself. Accelerating hard in a high gear strains the engine as it works overtime to overcome the load. The combustion pressures spike while the engine speed is too low to smoothly handle them. This can lead to detonation, knocking, where fuel combusts unevenly and hammers the pistons and bearings. Over time, lugging can oval out connecting rod bearings and even cause overheating on uphill climbs because the engine can't rev into its power band. The mechanical takeaway: downshift earlier. Keeping the revs in a healthy range under load prevents that harsh metal strain. Your engine's bottom end will last much longer if you avoid making it slog in the wrong gear. Number 3. Constantly redlining or over-revving. Every motorcycle has a redline for a reason. It's the limit of what the engine can safely handle. Hitting it occasionally won't grenade a healthy engine, but living at the redline will certainly shorten its life. Spinning at extreme RPM puts incredible stress on valve train components and the bottom end. Valves start to float, and at high enough revs, they can even kiss the pistons. The valve springs and timing chain get overstressed by repeated over-revving. In real terms, you might notice valve ticking or stretching of the timing chain after too much abuse. One rider found out the hard way. He redlined every single shift, even on a cold engine, and within months his valves were tapping and compression had dropped. The reason? Metal expands with heat, so thrashing it cold led to premature wear on tight tolerance parts like piston rings and valve guides. Even when fully warmed, an engine continuously running at the brink of redline will wear out faster. Crank bearings, rod bearings, and cylinder walls all take a beating. The occasional burst to redline is fine, but if you're bouncing off the limiter all day, you're asking for trouble. Number 4. Aggressive downshifting without rev matching. Engine braking is a useful riding technique, but slamming down through the gears without rev matching is a recipe for mechanical carnage. When you drop to a lower gear and let the clutch out abruptly, the motorcycle's speed forces the engine to rev up instantaneously. This sudden spike in RPM, often above the normal range, can be just as harmful as over-revving with the throttle. In fact, over-revving on downshifts can float your valves or stress the timing chain. Those rapid RPM spikes act like mini shockwaves inside the engine. Valve float may occur, lifters can collapse, and timing chains or belts can skip a tooth. At the very least, you're putting serious strain on internal parts. You might not blow the engine outright, but repeated abuse will cause faster wear on the valve train and clutch. The solution is straightforward. Rev match your downshifts. Blip the throttle as you downshift to synchronize engine RPM with the lower gear. Number 5. Riding the clutch. Keeping the clutch partially engaged is a silent engine killer in the long run. Many riders do this in stop-and-go traffic or slow maneuvers. They slip the clutch constantly to control speed. The problem is that the clutch pack is designed to engage fully or disengage anything in between, causing friction and heat. Continuing to ride with a half clutch will overheat and wear out the clutch plates, drastically shortening their lifespan. You'll literally smell a burnt fiberglass odor after heavy clutch abuse. Over time, the friction material on the plates glazing or wearing away leads to clutch slippage, and bits of that material contaminate your engine oil. In a motorcycle with a wet clutch, that means the same oil lubricating your engine is now carrying clutch debris and extra heat. This habit doesn't directly blow your engine, but a slipping, overheated clutch forces the engine to work harder for less output and can send your oil temperature soaring. Number 6. Hard launches and clutch dumps. We all love a good hard launch off the line, but drag race starts and dumping the clutch at high RPM are vicious on your engine and drivetrain. When you rev the engine high and pop the clutch, the entire driveline is hit with a sudden shock. Imagine dropping a spinning blender onto a table that jolt has to go somewhere. The stress can chip gear teeth in your transmission, stretch the drive chain, and even yank engine mount bolts. Most of all, the clutch itself suffers. The friction plates slam together, often generating immense heat in a second. Do this repeatedly, and you'll see accelerated clutch wear and even glazing or warping of the clutch discs. Engines don't escape unscathed either. That explosive torque transfer can cause crankshaft torsional stress, essentially twisting forces that can fatigue the crank and bearings. If you're doing wheelies by dumping the clutch, there's an added risk. During a long wheelie, oil can slosh away from the pickup, starving the engine of oil for a moment. Even brief oil starvation can scar bearings and cam lobes. The point is, dropping the hammer too often will hammer your engine internals. It might not fail immediately, but over time these shock loads leave their mark. If you need a fast launch, try feeding power more smoothly through the clutch. Number 7. Staying in gear at stops. Sitting at a red light with the clutch pulled in and first gear engaged might seem harmless. After all, the engine is just idling. But keeping the clutch pulled constantly at stops can cause undue strain on your motorcycle's clutch and engine over time. When you hold the clutch lever in, the clutch springs are compressed and the release mechanism is under load. This isn't a huge load, but doing it habitually at every light means those components never get a break. According to riding experts, if you frequently stop without shifting to neutral, the engine and clutch are under extra stress, leading to premature clutch wear and potential engine strain. The throwout bearing can wear out faster, which may lead to clutch drag or difficulty shifting. You might also be heating up the clutch plates unnecessarily by holding them apart under high RPM right before you stop. The simple fix, when you'll be stopped for more than a few seconds, pop into neutral and release the clutch. This relieves all that mechanical tension. Number 8. Excessive idling and slow riding with no cooling. Believe it or not, letting your bike idle endlessly or crawling in traffic on a scorching day can be just as damaging as aggressive riding. Extended idling, especially on an air-cooled or poor ventilated bike, can lead to overheating and oil breakdown. When your motorcycle is stationary or moving at parade speeds, there's little to no airflow across the engine or radiator. The coolant can only do so much if the radiator isn't getting air, and on air-cooled bikes, the heat just soaks the engine. Oil temperatures climb, and hot oil thins out, losing some of its protective viscosity. In extreme cases, fuel in the carburetor bowl can start to boil, and you risk vapor lock or stalling. Yes, long idling can overheat the engine and cause the oil to degrade, leading to more wear and damage over time. You might notice the cooling fan running constantly in traffic, a sign that the bike is struggling to shed heat. If you ignore this, you could warp a cylinder head or scorch the oil. The best practice is to keep the bike moving at least a little, or shut it down if you're going to be sitting for a long period. Don't warm up your bike for 15 minutes at a standstill. It's not necessary. A minute or two of gentle idle and then riding off at low load will warm it up more effectively without overheating. Number 9. Ignoring overheating and warning signs. Engines don't like running hot. Overheating can warp cylinder heads, blow head gaskets, and break down your oil in no time. Unfortunately, some riders keep pushing their bike even when it's clearly running too hot. Maybe you see the temp gauge needle buried in the red, or an angry red warning light on the dash, or you feel heat baking your legs in traffic. These are your cues to take action now. Continuing to ride with the engine overheated can cause the metal parts to expand beyond design clearances. Pistons can scuff the cylinder walls, valves can stick, and spark knock might start occurring. In modern bikes, overheating often leads to the ECU cutting power, or the engine boiling over coolant. If you ignore those signs, you risk permanent engine damage, like a warped head or cracked block. Even oil gets cooked when it's overheated, turning into useless sludge that no longer lubricates. The long-term cost of one severe overheat can be a complete engine rebuild. So, what should you do? Pay attention to the gauge and your bike's behavior. If you're in slow traffic on a blistering day and the temperature is climbing uncontrollably, pull over and shut the bike off to let it cool. Never ride an overheated engine hard. You're essentially grinding away material at that point. Also, don't ignore subtle signs like the smell of hot coolant or oil, pinging sounds, or steam. Those are early warnings. It's far cheaper to address a cooling issue than to replace half an engine.